It's Brasco from WMR.FM and SEO 101, and I'm a big audiobooks guy. If you didn't already know, I at least have about a good 70 audiobooks in my phone that I listen to, go back to from time to time. And you know, one of the places that always has great books, and you don't have to go through some other site to go ahead and get the book and download it yourself, Penguin Random House Audiobooks. Just like you listen to podcasts, you open up your Kindle, you listen on your phone, and you're listening to great information with best-selling authors like Jen Sincero, the book You Are a Badass at Making Money, or Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, and Thinking Fast and Slow, changing the way you think about thinking. Real tangible knowledge that you're not going to find on a Facebook video or a TikTok. And you take it wherever you got to go. You know you're traveling, you know you're exercising, you're going out, and you want to hear something that's going to continue to motivate you and keep you pumped and make you learn, and you're multitasking just like you always do. So 2 feature audiobooks right now. Like I said, Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass at Making Money, an accessible guide to making the kind of money you've only dreamed of. And Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, changing the way you think about thinking and how our minds work and choices are made in both business and personal lives, guarding against mental glitches that will get us in trouble. So preparing yourself, motivating yourself, becoming that entrepreneur, becoming that small business owner, and succeeding with what you're doing, learning from WMR.FM and learning through a great audiobook from Penguin Random House. So learn more about these titles and more and discover other recommendations from Penguin Random House Audio. Visit the website, penguinrandomhouseaudio.com. One more time, penguinrandomhouseaudio.com.
JCPenney is helping hardworking families across America save even more all Labor Day weekend. That's right, we got you. Celebrate a 4-day super savings weekend with 20% off already great prices. Plus, save an extra 10% across the store. That's extra savings in addition to our huge end of summer deals. Grab your coupon on the JCP app and save all you want. Shopping is back. JCPenney. Coupon required and valid on select styles 92 to 95. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
Hello and welcome to SEO 101 on WMR.FM, episode number 437. This is Ross Dunn, CEO of Stepforth Web Marketing, and my co-host is my company senior SEO, Scott Vanak. Well, all, thanks so much and for tuning in. I'm sorry we had a little break there. Scott did a little traveling, and I'm about to go again, but we didn't want to miss another show.
You don't want to get too far behind. I think this is our first one in August, and the last in August.
First and last, yeah. It's sometimes tempting for us to take a little more time off, but there's a lot happening. And if you've been watching any of the net waves, I guess you call it, wouldn't be radio waves, wouldn't be listening to them. Anyway, there's a lot going on about SEO, and it's definitely high time for us to give you an update. Thank you, Scott, for putting together some great notes today. I guess a quick side thing. How was your holiday?
It was great. And there's one very small thing I want to mention that's not really relevant, but a little bit relevant. We were sitting out looking at the stars, Lindsay and I, my wife, and we saw this string of lights shoot across the sky. And we were like, what's that? Because it was in a distance, right? We kind of thought it was the Northern Lights because we were supposed to be able to see them that night, which we didn't, go figure. But we're like, is that the Northern Lights? Because you couldn't really tell. And then it got closer and closer. We're like, wait a minute, what is this? It was like a whole bunch of lights, like maybe like 20 lights. And it looked like a Christmas string above the clouds. It was crazy. And then we're like, what the blank is that? What the blank is? I think we said it like 100 times. And it got closer and it's going faster and faster. And it's like, why don't I have my phone? And she freaked out, ran inside, grabbed her phone, went to the front yard because that's sort of the direction the lights were going. And we never saw them again. And she's like, we were literally worried that they were aliens. Like legit. The first time in my life, I legit thought I saw alien spacecraft. And so then, of course, this was, I don't remember. It's a few nights ago anyways. And so we're like,
Thursday night, my family or my friends were coming to the cottage where we were staying. And it's their cottage. We were waiting for them. And they saw what you're talking about. And it was actually, they believe it was space garbage or something coming through.
I did actually look it up, and I did find out exactly what it is. So the first thing I did was do a Google search of, I think I actually said WTF, but what it actually stands for are these lights in the sky. And Lindsay actually referred to them as a space worm. She described it as a space worm, and the kids are going crazy. Like, why are you? It's not a worm. Anyways. And I found a ton of posts of people asking the same question. It's like all over the place. Okay. And what it was Elon Musk and Starlink. And when they launched the satellites, I guess they launched them together, and then over time they spread out across the sky. And so then it was less scary when I knew that it wasn't aliens coming to destroy us all. But
of course, you went glasses half empty. But anyway,
of course we did. Well, we didn't know what it was. We had to explain it, right? I don't know.
Well, it could be aliens, but it could be good aliens.
Yeah. So if you Google search Starlink satellites and or Google it or YouTube it or whatever, there's tons of videos of them shooting across the sky in videos, and I don't know how I'd never come across that. I see everything online, I feel like, and I'd never seen that before or knew that they were launched that way. Or
I was envious. I wish I'd seen it.
They'll come by. Apparently they came by a couple days after that as well. That I think my sister said she saw them, but
he's launching thousands, isn't he? Anyway,
I actually found a map, a real-time map of where they are. It's a 3D map. I'll send you the link. Maybe I'll put it in the show notes if people care. And there are about 2,500 of them in the sky currently.
Wow.
So it's crazy. And watching it on the map is actually kind of fascinating. It's quite interesting. Well, I find it.
Well, that was more of a side than I thought, but that was cool. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I rambled there. So everyone listening, this is the Elon Musk Starlink show on SEO 101.
That's so cool. So let's start with pretty much the news of the day, news of the week, news of the month, could be the news of the year, depending on how it rolls out. Google's new, and I love how they call it this, helpful content update is rolling out. Is it next week? I believe it's next week.
It was supposed to be this week, the week of the 22nd. I haven't seen signs of it yet, but that doesn't mean it hasn't started.
I've heard there are some signs somewhere. I just didn't know that was pre-rollout or what. But anyway, there is significant assumption, because it's all assumption at this point, that it's going to be as significant as Panda's, the big Panda update that changed the way we do SEO. Now, with that said, it's about creating content that's helpful for your web, like helpful for people. And if you don't have any helpful web content, it's going to now not serve you well. Now, either it'll be ignored, or because it's a site-wide signal, if you have too much of it, it'll actually diminish your site-wide rankings, which is a big concern, a big concern. And, back when Panda came out, it was devastating to some people. Like, that was around the time, I think, just after or before Florida. And Florida, when it came out, it ruined lives. Apparently, it was $1 billion loss of business. Well, so much money was lost.
And that was right before Christmas, if I remember right, which is extra bad.
It was horrible. And I can imagine there's people out there today that still hate Google for what they did then, because that was unmitigated horror. Anyways, in my opinion, it is not going to be nearly that impactful, simply because Google's gotten a little smarter about how they roll things out. They do things softly now, I think, because of that damage. I think they should by now know just how much power they have and how they can ruin lives by how they launch this out. But yeah, I just sort of encapsulated it here, but I know there's some notes you got here. So what are some of the details, Scott?
All right. Well, you mentioned it is a site-wide algorithm, so that's important to know. A lot of these algorithms and updates, if you have a bad page, you deal with that page and you're good. But this, you have a few bad pages could affect everything. One thing to note is subdomains should be considered separately. So, if you have a number of subdomains, one might get burned. Well, hopefully not, but it won't affect your subdomains and expand to that. Probably. So Danny Sullivan, it depends. Danny Sullivan said, we tend to see subdomains apart from root domains, but it also can depend on many factors. So there you go. Might help or might hurt subdomains, might not. If you're hit by this update, obviously you're going to want to look at the quality of your content. We don't know to what extent that means yet. We'll learn that in the coming weeks, I'm sure. And it does sound like this is an update that will refresh regularly, but there may be a timeout or validation period. So if you do get hit, it could still take a few months to recover from it. So we'll see how that plays out as well. But not like some updates where, you make your fix and you could see results within, well, even minutes in some cases. But you won't have to wait for a full new update, like say the product review update or some other major core update or something. So.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about how well they've built this. I mean, I was thinking about our own site. We don't publish a lot of articles anymore, but we publish